Hi everyone, so my IMC for me is finished. I only signed up for the Day to Grow, not for the full conference, and it was worth it. There's a lot of information to take in, people sharing their journeys, their stories, what they've overcome, and that helps us. It helps us to stay focused and to keep giving back and to keep growing and applying our skills in our workplaces. And it is a different way of doing things, but it's a model that works for me because I've tried for many years to get a position in the church, and it's been hurtful, it's been disappointing because when Damien Howard started with me on the journey, I came to Canada very highly recommended, and I thought the Jesuits would be happy to get me into a position in one of the churches or in one of the colleges, but no matter where I applied and what I did, it didn't work out. And I didn't only apply in Canada, I applied in the US, I applied in England, I sent out my brochures, I contacted colleges, and nothing opened up for me. So it's been very hurtful and very disappointing, and it's hard when you watch your life's work crumbling, because there are other people who got the support in the church. They're not as highly qualified as me. They didn't get recommendations from their priests and their pastors. So, it's hard. And of course, I did want to get a position in the Catholic Church. But what I'm doing now is I'm combining that and my John Maxwell, and I'm continuing to do my talks and my videos and uploading them. And that's how people do it. That's how they get started. You can't sit back and wait, for somebody to invite you to speak. You have to make your videos, put them out there, and then through that your audience grows, and from that you will eventually get engagements. It's the same thing as my piano. I didn't sit back and say, one day I'll be able to play. I played in the churches here, I played at Regis College. Wherever I was invited to play, I played. And I sang in the choirs too. I do sing at church. So that's how we do it, and that's how we grow. I apply my skills in the workplace, in HR, in project management, in customer service, and that's the way that I do it. I think that you learn a lot from listening to others and watching others. And also for me, for my musician side, I learned a lot from Elvis Presley, from watching how he coached his backup singers, what he did with them. There's a lot of my videos that I lost when U of T took away our accounts. So that's unfortunate for me, but I saved whatever I could. And you see his style of how he was very gentle with his backup singers, with his ladies, how he explained things to them. You never saw him shouting and yelling at people or giving them final written warnings. And that movie, the part where you see him firing Colonel Parker on stage, that didn't happen. But I think it's a good way to learn, and it's a good way to grow. And it's also a very different style because I came here from South Africa. So I was quite shocked actually when Teleperformance gave me a final written warning for an interaction I had with a customer. And some of my supervisors were shocked, but I guess, every company is different, every culture is different. And for me, I'm also a sensitive person. So if people are screaming at me and yelling at me, I push back. And one of the things I had to learn to do in the customer service job was just to sit there and think in my head, you know what, you're an idiot, but I can't say that to you. So that's how we change, that's how we grow. And it was amazing to listen to different people today and to think about different things. I think one of the things that struck me is when we see people, how do we decide who we are going to trust and who we're not going to trust? And one of the speakers, Stephanie Chung, gave a powerful presentation and she asked us what we thought of the 3 people that she presented, and we all had different views. And it turned out that they were wanted by the FBI, and none of us had come up with that. So it's pretty amazing to learn from them and to grow. And I took a lot of notes, so I'll be reading those notes, not today because I'm tired, it's a long day, but I'll be reading those notes tomorrow, going through them and reviewing them, and that's what I do. So, and also with the One campaign, it is hurtful because I applied for jobs for them. I wanted to be there with them. I wanted to work with Bono and the One campaign. But again, I wasn't selected. I was only selected to volunteer, just like in the church. And at some point, you want that skills and everything you're doing to translate into an income. You don't want to keep, like John says, you're planting the seeds and putting sticks there with a picture on them, saying, come see my orchid, and it sticks in the ground with a picture on them. You actually want to see the fruit. So that's where I'm at, and it's sad for me because I've worked very, very hard to try to get positions where my interests are, where I want to be. But I'm grateful to Joe, my friend Joe from Zimbabwe, who got me involved in this. It's not something I thought of doing, and it's not something that I even looked up. I never heard of John Maxwell. I didn't know who he was. The same with spiritual direction. I never thought that I would go into that line. I've used my skills as a volunteer, but again, I'm not getting the income coming in. So that's why this is important for me. And nobody wants to land up a beggar. Nobody wants to land up where I'm at. And it's going on since 2007. Every time I get let go, there's a little bit of money sent here and there to help me, and it's really frustrating when you've owned your own place, you've bought it on your own, and because of systemic injustice, you can't keep it, or you don't get selected for promotions, you don't get selected to be in those positions where you're going to get paid well. And it's very disheartening when you've come here from Africa as an Indian, and you've encountered this there, and then you come here and you experience it all over again, and there's no support from the Catholic Church. Your emails that you get back are saying that, oh, you don't have experience working in the church. Well, what more do you want? If I've worked at Regis College and I've worked in the church as a volunteer, what more do you want? So it's very hard, and in days like this are also good because you get a healing from listening to the speakers, especially John Maxwell. And we didn't have a prayer today, but I know that when we have the John Maxwell, they do say a prayer at the beginning and then at the end. And it is Christian-based, so anybody can do it, everybody is welcome. But all the principles are taken from the Bible, and then they're translated into, I guess, day-to-day business themes and values. So I just wanted to share that with you. If I do find my Elvis Presley videos, because it's a while now, they started coming through at the end of this stupid investigation into me. But if I do find them, I will share them. They are, I don't know if I'll be able to find them, but you can look them up. You just see how Elvis interacted with his team, how gentle he was, how he talked to his ladies, and how they speak about him. And he didn't tolerate racism. So, it's very moving. For me, I like to sing. I can't sing that well, but I like to sing. And so I do whatever I can. Some people like my singing. In the church, they like it, the ladies like it, and some of the priests. But yeah, it's a process, and you letting go of that hurt is also a process, because I am very hurt by the experience I had in Canada. Nobody wants to work as hard as me and land up a pauper. But there's there's also a spiritual richness, and I know that nobody can take my faith away from me. And that's what I hold on to, and I think Jo would have been happy to see what I've done, because she brought me into this. And if I didn't have this, in the church, there's all sorts of politics, there's all sorts of hierarchy. This is my own, and the spiritual direction was also my own. But if you don't get people supporting you and helping you, especially when they have the opportunities available, it doesn't translate into financial gain. So, I'm very grateful to Jo for bringing this to me. And I hope that my life will turn around financially, because I didn't have a dad to buy me a car and help me with the down payment or anything like that. I had to do it on my own. And I didn't have a husband either. And so that's what I pray that this year is going to bring for me. And if John Maxwell can do it at 78, I don't see what my excuse is. I've never been one to make excuses. I've always been one to take action and to do whatever I can. And that's what I'll continue to do. And I don't know whether eventually I'll be able to help Roger Federer in a paid position or not. But whatever I can do to help him, I'll do. And let's see. I have a passion for tennis and sports, and I think that's important in what you do and in what you bring to the table. And there's that connection with Nelson Mandela. Unfortunately, Cyril Ramaphosa never took the opportunities, not only with this one campaign, but with the work I did with Fitz, to get to know me, to invite me, to make the effort. And I'm going to be rolling off that one campaign in August. So that opportunity is not going to be there anymore. But it's one of those things, and I think that somewhere in Africa, somebody's lived because of me. So I can hold on to that, and I can take that with me. And I will miss my artists. I'll miss the work they did and how they saved lives with their music. But you can't regurgitate. I mean, the artists, if the artists today try to do what they did, and the sound is not even the same. So I think it's good to appreciate what we did and what we had, and to move on to it, and the fruits of that are in the lives that we saved. So I just wanted to share that with you, and if I do find those Elvis videos, I will share them, because he was such a lovely man. He was such a lovely man, and I don't want to cry. So I'm going to stop.